Good morning, Cruk. Quick demo video for you for your Ultimate Works Flextana. This is kind of an oval shaped saber. It's got some cues to the Graflex, obviously, right up here. Funny story about this saber. I actually owned this guy a long time ago, and I sold it off to a buddy of mine, Mike, because at the time I opened this up and I didn't think I could make a chassis for it. It was a weird shape that I'd never done before. It was something I didn't think I had the time to learn. I sold it off to Mike. Mike kept it for a while. He put it up for sale recently. You grabbed it and then asked me to do an install on it. So it came back to me, but this time I had some experience with making these kinds of chassis, and I was excited to get it back. So this is installed with a Proffie. It's a 2-button setup. Your top switch here, that's your activation, and then your bottom switch down here is your auxiliary. I sent the blade depth over to Devin because he's making a blade for you. This is 1.19 inch blade depth, by the way, but I already sent him a message for that. All right. Your blade retention is right here. And then how you get to everything is there's going to be 3 screws on this handle to take off, but for the purpose of this demo, I've got them off already. You've got 2 that are in the black piece right here, and then you flip it over, and and then the third one is right here. You do not want to mess with the screws that are in the upper Graflex portion, these 2 here, or these. They hold the coupler, and then they also act as a chassis retention because they go into the portion where the chassis is at and they bite down. So that's your chassis retention. But anyway, you take those 3 off, take your handle, and just pull it off. It is a tight fit, but everything comes off exactly the way it's supposed to. Since this is called a Flextana, which is kind of like a katana, it had some Japanese, connotations to it. So I put this koi fish on it right here. It does say Flextana over here in Arabic. Just got some Japanese patterns or some Oriental patterns right here, and then another Japanese pattern right here, or just it's a Japanese demon, right? And I put that right here, and then it says Solo Sabers over here for me. You've got your Proffie board up here. Although this is just a snap fit down into the shelf, you can get to your SD card and your micro USB without ever moving the board, right? Just take your SD card out with a pair of tweezers. That's what I do right there. And then a Smuggler's Outpost emblem right here. And you're running a 28 millimeter Smuggler's Outpost Elite speaker. And if you can look at the chassis this way, it's actually cocked off to the side. And the reason I did that was because if you look in the handle, you've got a very small place right there for sound venting. So I had 2 different options on this saber. I could go with a 24 millimeter and point it right at this hole, and that would have fit fine. Or I could have gone with a 28 millimeter and cocked it off to the side, which is what I chose to do because I like to use these 28s whenever possible, and I think it sounds really good. And I'll fire this up here for you in a second, right? And then you've also got a removable battery, obviously. I won't be sending a battery with this saber because it's going overseas, but that's something that you and I are used to. I've done a few sabers for you by now. All right, so let's throw a battery in this guy. It has the stock font package. One more thing, you are running the stock V3s in here for your Neopixel connector. So we'll throw a battery in this. The battery is extremely tight fit in there, just how it's meant to be. And we'll come over here and we'll throw our handle on. And then obviously you'd come in and you'd put the screws on. This is a tight enough fit where I'm going to do the demo without putting the screws in, but obviously they'd go in next, right? But we'll come over here and hit activation. Sound venting is really good for having that little bit of space for sound venting and having that speaker cocked off to the side. LEDs are fired up, and then auxiliary over here. And I gave you twist off. I did not give you swing on, but I did give you twist off. All right, we'll put a blade in. I'm not going to use your blade retention because the blade socket is so tight. But obviously it's right here if you're going to be swinging this guy around a little bit. Just depends on the type of blade that Devin's going to make for you. Fire it up. Very solid saber. blade lock up. Cycle through some colors. Try to find a blue. Now we turn this on. It's a blue blade. You do that by holding aux and hitting power, and you'll hear this sound. And then you can twist the saber. You find something you like and just hit power. And then of course you got that. And you turn it back on. Change sound fonts, we'll just hit auxiliary.
Smooth Jedi.
Nice blade lock up. Soundtracks are just hold down. It's a long press on the power button. And that's another long press to turn it off. Just like that.
Smooth gray.
Nice fire blade. And we'll do one more.
Smooth fuzz.
Just like that. We'll take the blade out. So yeah, everything's working on this guy really well. Come back over here, take your screws out, pull your handle back off. And then you may not be able to get this out with your finger because it is a tight fit. So I just come over here with a pair of tweezers or something and pop it out from the positive side. And the battery will pop out just like that. And then put your handle back on. And that's pretty much it. That is your Flextana. Let me know if you got any questions. If not, I will get this guy out in the mail to you on Monday. All right? Thanks.